All right, boys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to Valencia Street. This is San Francisco's Mission District's finest street where you got all sorts of bars, restaurants, cafes, high-end stuff pretty much. If you just drop in and you check this out, you got luxury condo buildings on your left and then also pretty amazing prime first floor real estate on your right. This is actually a fantastic street to live on. You got all sorts of bakeries, restaurants, Michelin star stuff. You know, this is pretty much like a hipster's paradise. And plus, this is kind of like the place I like to live, right? Very nice, beautiful looking streets. You know, at least on Google Maps, there's not any sort of massive tents or anything, but you get the idea. You have a lot of stores, a lot of cool places. I mean, this is the place where you want to hang out on, okay? You know, this right here is fantastic. But guess what's happening right now? There's a massive series of closings on Valencia. Now, here's the thing. Some restaurant owners are still, on the grind. They don't want to leave. They like the city, and I get it. San Francisco has a lot of culture, a lot of tourism. Well, I guess they used to have a lot of tourism. But like I said before, the place is struggling to exist, and it's mostly because of one thing. If you zoom a little bit further out and you head over towards this place, the financial district, Salesforce is here, Google San Francisco, Uber, all these big boys are here. Come over here to Mission Bay. You also have a lot of big startup companies headquartered here. And guess where all these people are leaving? They're gone. They're going to Miami. They're going to Austin. They're going to Las Vegas. These people are no longer in these places. Downtown is so empty. Guys, there's bar owners in downtown who say during Friday nights, there's hundreds of people that literally walk by his bar. It's like a massive party scene. Tech workers, finance bros, VC guys, shoulder to shoulder packed. And now it is completely empty. Even the Mission, right? This is like where a lot of the big cool restaurants are. Like I showed you before, you got very, very nice prime real estate in a lot of these areas, and it's just completely empty. I mean, check this out. Most of these stores that you're seeing right here are either closed or they're really, really struggling to survive. Now, this Google Street View was taken July 2022. Just wait till July 2023, and you'll pretty much see how crazy, how many of these stores have closed. And like I said before, a lot of stores have closed. Now, let's just go on Google. Let's just go on Google and check it out. Okay, look at this. Valencia Street Seafood closes after just 8 months. You also have Village Rotisserie in No Valley has closed, another notable Bay Area restaurants. Several bars are closed as well. Remember, a lot of these restaurants, to make it on the news, they have to be pretty big and very popular restaurants to end up on the news. What about all the other restaurants that are not as popular or just a typical mom and pop store? They probably left. And the news, of course, didn't cover them at all. And that's what I'm saying here, right? You may be like, oh, it's not that bad. Hey, man, you're showing us like a few articles here and there. But remember, for each one of these articles, there's probably like 50 normal restaurants that closed down in San Francisco. Michelin star chef closes San Francisco restaurants. Neighborhoods that show San Francisco neighborhoods, that lost the most restaurants during the pandemic. And these articles are spewing out like crazy, okay? Look at this. You also have another massive place. You got this 115-year-old Japanese business. They're closing out as well. Michelin star hotspots, they're closing out after nearly a century. We're not talking about small restaurants. We're not talking about, the restaurants that just opened up. We're talking about restaurants that were here for several decades, some even for 100 years. And a lot of these restaurants have left. The population of San Francisco, according to a lot of people, has declined so drastically that it's basically become a ghost town. Not only that, crime is so rampant that people are afraid to leave their condos and apartments at night to go out and party. I mean, some areas, like I said before, there's more people than other areas, but areas that used to have a lot of tech workers are now completely empty. And here's the thing, tech workers don't necessarily miss San Francisco. In fact, a lot of the tech guys I know, some relatives that used to work in San Francisco, they say they don't miss it. They actually enjoy working online at a cheaper place. You also have the rise and popularity of digital nomads. Why would you pay $4,000 in rent for a box when you could pay $400 in Bangkok, Thailand for a massive penthouse? Like I said before, online work is here to stay, and online work is thriving a lot. I mean, look at this, guys. A lot of these stores are closing down. It's a shame because these stores are really nice. And it's pretty crazy because if you look around, unemployment's super low. Just in my city, it's a smaller suburban city of less than 500,000 population. We're actually having a massive inflow of restaurants and retail stores. And I feel like this could be at the expense of major cities like San Francisco, who just pretty much do a pretty not that great job. And check this out, you even have a business owner in San Francisco open a breakfast cafe joint in 1953, said, would any sane person stay in San Francisco? And I understand his pain. I mean, a lot of these business owners, they spent their whole livelihoods, all that cash to open a restaurant, not to mention the strict rules to open any sort of establishment in San Francisco is insane. So they had to go through hurdles and hurdles of loops. They had to pretty much dance like a monkey just to open a store here. And then they face this crazy high vacancy rate. Everyone's moving out. Everyone's gone. Tourism is not here. I mean, the tourist stigma is so bad in San Francisco. Okay, guys, let's do an experiment. If you're going on vacation and you tell people going to Miami, they say that's pretty cool. Manhattan, they say pretty cool. Chicago, most people will say that's pretty cool. Los Angeles, they're like, oh, that's great. Beverly Hills, Bel Air, stuff like that. But the moment you say San Francisco, people just recoil in disgust. They said, ew. And it's a shame because this is honestly a fantastic city. I know most of you guys probably haven't been here, but I've been here pre-pandemic. It was 2019. It was actually a very nice place despite the bad stuff. The tourist areas are still pretty popping off. The nightlife was crazy. And like I said before, the Tenderloin district was still an open air drug market by then, but it was mostly restricted to the Tenderloin. And people were willing to put up with some of the crap in San Francisco. But now, once people are coming back, they see how much the city has deteriorated. It's lawlessness. There is no law. There is no enforcement of law. And that's what people don't like. Business owners are leaving. You also have a lot of long-time business owners that are leaving. They say one thing before they leave. The city really isn't making that much of an effort. Now, I'm sure the city wants to help. They want to make everything good, but you gotta be a little bit strict. You gotta be kind of hard and pretty much enforce the law even a little bit because businesses are outflowing at the craziest pace. I mean, I've seen Hong Kong having massive businesses leaving, but even they are actually stabilizing and having businesses move back. Same thing with places like Seoul in Korea. They are actually having like a pretty high vacancy rate, but now they've stabilized and they're actually flourishing pretty well. Same thing with Tokyo, Osaka, stuff like that. But when it comes to San Francisco, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's pretty easy to solve. I mean, just make the streets clean, right? Maybe don't have an open air drug market like every few blocks. Maybe have some rules about tent encampments on the streets. Because at this rate, selling planters and selling massive rocks for people to put in the middle of the street in San Francisco is probably better business than opening up a cafe or a restaurant at this point. And it's wild, guys. The population decrease in San Francisco is the fastest in the nation. And it's a shame, like I said before, it's such a great place, guys. I mean, they got parks, they got beaches, they got like 270 degrees of water. I mean, this is honestly a fantastic place to start your business career. But not anymore with the crazy high homeless rates, the crazy high crime. I mean, most people are leaving the Bay Area and some are actually going to places like Palo Alto and the Stanford area. This is actually a place where it's actually pretty nice. And this is also where, Google, Oracle, Apple's located. So people are leaving and the people are leaving in droves. And a lot of these people aren't looking back. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.